And so, without further ado, we have Scott Wilson, who has a 5-minute piece that he's going to do. So, Scott, give us a little idea as to what you're going to do.
This was inspired by someone who came into my life around 3 or 4 years ago, and they've been a constant source of aggravation and inspiration.
Family member, then?
Not close. I'll just go right into it. It's called A Quarter at a Time. I have met the future ruler of the free world. Under this leader's tyrannical rule, the nations of the globe will be ushered into the unfaltering dominion of one focused, unified vision. There will be no more countries, no more borders. There will only be one world order, led by a single, stoic personality. Her name is Lilith. She is 11 years old. Lilith is not shy when it comes to talking about her plans for world domination. This unassuming girl with the fire-red pageboy haircut, diminutive even for a girl her age, can often be heard informing people of their predestined place in her benevolent dictatorship. Her older sister has been promised a position of power and stature among the higher ranks of government. The diner waitress who spilled juice in her lap last week will not be so lucky. Apparently, she has also become quite accustomed to the idea of deciding who lives and who dies. Lilith has already decided on a name for her empire, Lilantis. Domed underwater cities will provide strategic defense in the early years of her nation-building campaign, guarded by soldiers riding genetically altered giant war seahorses. Flag designs are being taken under consideration. She plays close to the chest when it comes to her takeover plans. It will be by force, that is for certain. There will be time for diplomacy after the initial battles have ended. She knows not to give away too many strategic details. Nevertheless, she has confided in a select few, that insects will play a major part in the first wave of the invasion, as will large numbers of rats. Possibly zombie rats, although the logistics behind this have yet to be properly researched. A massive campaign of domination and subversion perpetrated on a global scale requires an adequate amount of funding. Zombie rats and aquadomes aren't cheap. There is a price tag attached to any endeavor of such magnitude, and Lilith has calculated the budget of her master plan precisely. The total cost of her eventual world rule, $17,542,726.57. The most disturbing aspect of this seemingly random number is the chilling finality of the 57 cents. And you can always find her fundraising, regularly asking family members and strangers alike for unwanted loose change and other small donations. Most of the money collected for the campaign is stored away in a large mason jar, prominently displayed on Lilith's bedside table. A few years ago, Lilith's mother noticed that the majority of the loose change and stray singles that had half-filled the jar just the other day was now missing. In its place were dozens of nondescript folded slips of white ruled paper. When questioned, Lilith simply shrugged and explained that she had been trading with friends. Her school called 2 days later. It seemed Lilith had concluded that you could not just raise money towards the eventual goal of world domination. Occasionally, you had to spend it. With an eye towards laying the groundwork of her massive future armies, she had approached several of her fellow classmates, or as she affectionately called them, future followers, and offered to purchase their souls. Upon closer examination, each slip of folded paper in the mason jar contained the name of a student, the words, "my soul," and the cash amount paid for each ethereal entity. The amounts varied from student to student, ranging from 25 cents to a couple of dollars, no doubt based upon Lilith's shrewd appraisal of each soul's future value. It had taken 2 days before some of the students exhibited seller's remorse and complained to their parents that they wanted their souls back. The parents were not amused by Lilith's collection. The school was even less amused. Having previously banned Halloween parades for fear of exposing students to the influence of occult iconography, the faculty was more than a little perturbed at the thought of lunch money soul trafficking taking place on school grounds. Their solution to Lilith's spiritual investments, however, was somewhat unorthodox. All of the students she had purchased souls from were lined up, and Lilith was forced to hand each student back his or her slip of paper, effectively giving their soul back to them, and apologize for treading in God's domain. She protested the massive soul recall at first, stating that possession is 9/10 of the law, extolling the virtues of free market, and balking that the money she paid out for the souls would not be returned. However, she did what she was told, and obediently performed the school's soul redistribution ritual. Weeks later, when asked why she did not put up more of a fight, she would merely smile and reply, "I only gave back the slips of paper." Ever since the soul incident, as it is known on her record, Lilith's plans have become more low-key. Many have assumed that her lust for global conflict and world domination have simply been abandoned, but those wise enough to question her are quickly assured otherwise. "Just you wait," she will say with a smile. "The rats will come soon enough." Lilith just recently turned 11. As she grows into her teenage years, it is quite possible that interests normally shared by teenage girls, such as boys and fashion, will divert her attention away from plans of nation-building and global conquest. Alternatively, her gradual progression towards maturity might simply bring about what she ominously refers to on occasion as Phase 2. Until then, a small chill travels down my spine with every quarter that she feeds into her piggy bank, and I am vigilantly on the lookout for folded slips of white ruled paper.
I'd like some of the names on those slips. Find out just how many are on the GOP ticket. I'm sorry. That's great.
Atlantis, yes.
Yes. And this is part of a larger work? Or?
It's actually becoming a larger work, yes, because there's so much involved with the person I'm writing about, and that whole soul thing did happen. I wish I could say I made that up because it's so funny, but that's actually true.
That's
wow. And she's probably one of the most interesting and frightening people I know.
Hasn't helped the male gender in a few years.
Oh.
That was great. Really enjoyed that very much. Okay. And, well, Angela, we're going to take a break. And when we return, it's your turn. Okay? I hope you will stay with us.
Thanks.
Very funny. Very funny.